Anybody still dancing? Anybody still dancing? Hey, everybody, it's Erin Reed, and welcome back to the 2024 Makers Retreat. We have an amazing special guest that is going to be joining us, and I'm going to pop her on right now. We have Amanda from Pear Press. Hello.
Hello, hello. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for coming on. I truly appreciate it. And I love your products. Every time I turn around, you've got a new fun thing that's come out. And I love how you have connected the technology to the crafting and kind of merged my two worlds, because I'm an ex-science teacher. I used to teach high school biology, chemistry, and physics. And so I like the whole world of, that sciencey aspect, and now bringing it into the crafting, which is like my new role and my new job. So I love this mishmash of your company together. And you really do think of all of these amazing ways to make crafting easier, but still make it fun and interesting and different. And it lights up and it does all these cool things. And your tape is amazing. And I could just go on and on about all the cool stuff that you got going on. But I'm going to give the platform to you to talk about who you are and what your company is all about.
Well, thank you. And I'm not sure if I'll be able to see messages, so I'm going to hold you to reading them for me or letting me know if they come in.
Absolutely.
As you said, my name's Amanda Stevens. I own Pear Press with my husband. He is actually the mastermind behind most of our lights because he's an engineer. So he designs the boards. I say, I have this idea. I want blah, blah, blah. And then he says, okay, yes, dear, he's here. But he makes it happen, which is really fun. And what I really like about our lights and some of our other stuff is that they're designed to make it easy. So you don't have to do anything except kind of sandwich it in. In fact, you can think of all of our lights as flashlights. They're just skinny little flashlights, and I'll show you. But they really can add a wow factor. Like, can you see this one? And it's so simple. This one I can actually lift it and show you the guts of the card. But you just tape it down, and then you use some foam tape, and then a little vellum behind the window. So it makes the card making part the fun part, and the technology part is just just easy, tuck it in.
And that's the best part. I love the easiness factor. It's just like plug and chug. Just put it in, tape it down, and push the button. Done.
Yeah. So I wanted to, well, let's see. I'll just show you. Here's a better look at that card I was just showing you here. And the inside again, that's one of our one lights. And I would say this is the easiest light to use because it's literally just a little flat flashlight and you tape it down. There is one little light bulb. That's why we call it a one light. Your button, your battery, it's a flashlight. And I do want to show you how to make a card. So I've already kind of done a little bit of prep work because I want to show you how to assemble it. And then I'll show you some other samples because we have 5 different kinds of lights now. And I'll show you those too.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I know one light.
Yes, so we have the one light. We have the original, the easy light that has 3 light bulbs. And then we ended up coming out with the one light later. I almost called it the easier light, but that was a little too cheesy. It only had one light, so we called it the one light. We have the twinkle light, which is just like the easy light, except they flash instead of stay on. We have the halo light, which is a circle. And then we also have the new birthday candle. I'll show you all of those. So let's take a look, though, at the one light. They come in different packages. We have them in different quantities. This happens to be a 2-pack. And when you get them, they come with batteries as well. And so you just insert the battery, just like you would any other flashlight. This is your button down here, the little gold button. And that yellow dot is your LED. When you push the button, it lights up. Now, if you want, when you're installing these, it's normally I end up putting adhesive on the back, just double stick tape, but you can always put it on the battery clip too. So depending on your design and how you're putting it together, you have that option too, which I always like to point out and let people know that that's there. So I've got my
Is there anything that you should avoid putting tape over so that it doesn't stop the light from working? I'm guessing you probably don't want to put tape over top of the button.
Just not over.
Or is there a connection that we want to avoid tape on?
No.
Okay.
The only consideration for that is blocking the light. So if you put like a piece of foam tape over the light, It's actually bright enough that it'll still kind of glow through, but not as bright.
That's a pretty bright light. No, but the fact
Yeah.
that it went through the tape is pretty cool. So even if you
Right.
screw
So
up, it still works.
yeah, I mean, and it like just the LEDs are cool, so they won't get hot. You don't ever have to worry about like an issue with it getting hot and melting anything or anything like that.
So if it
Because they're
got
just
pushed and stayed on for too long and like something was holding it, it
no,
wouldn't cause a flame or a fire
no,
if you were storing your cards in a box or if it got shipped and it
right,
got squished or something. Okay. All right.
yeah.
Good to know. Good to know.
I will say if you're going to mail a light up card, I usually take a piece of cardstock and I put it underneath the battery clip, or in the battery clip underneath the battery, so that when I press the button, it doesn't work. And then you'd
Oh,
install it so that the pull tab is here, and then you can just pull it out when you get it. That just keeps the battery from draining in the mail, you know?
right.
So, but you do want to make sure that your foam tape wouldn't catch it either. So let me just show you how to put this together, and then I'll show you some other stuff. With the battery in, it's basically ready to go. I have gone ahead. This is a digital print. We use these for Make and Takes a Lot. It says Make a Wish. And I used our PB Press stamp and die set. There are 3 different raindrops in there, and they are basically candle flames. You can use them for candle flames. There's also a circle. Sometimes it's nice to have a little 3/8-inch circle. And then this big rectangle is the trap door if you wanted to access the battery from the backside. Our stamp set, they come together, stamp and dies. There are a couple of different raindrops or candle flames. So you can make any little strip of paper into a candle if you stamp it or die cut the hole there. And then we also give you a couple different stars and a handmade for you light bulb that you can stamp on the back of your card. But the push, pull, remove. So the pull and the remove are nice for pull tabs. So when somebody gets that card in the mail. And then we have scratch off stickers, and I had room, so I left that scratch off in there, but the rest are just different pull, or I'm sorry, press sentiments.
Well, and
So
those are
I've already
important
got,
because otherwise people wouldn't know to do that. They wouldn't realize that that part of the card exists. So
right,
yeah, super
yeah.
smart.
And sometimes if I don't want it to be really obvious, like this is in black, like the lettering there, because this is going to be a clean and simple card, you can stamp it in different colors. For example, this one, I just pulled in the teal there. But sometimes if I don't want it to show at all, then, but I mean, you want to know that it's there, but not really be obvious and take away from your scene, I'll just emboss it in clear on top so that it's there because it's shiny, but it's not really bold. So, and
That's a
usually
smart
for that
idea.
kind of, those are cards I'll give to somebody in person so that I make sure that they see it. And then from that point on, they always know it's somewhere there. So,
I was going to say the Rudolph card is so cute.
oh, thanks, Susan. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this one together. I've got a card base and a little card front, and I'm just going to go ahead and glue this down so that it's one piece now. And
Is there any kind of glue or any kind of material that you would want to avoid with this because it might corrode or cause problems with the battery?
not that I have come across.
Okay, cool.
Nothing so far that I use in my daily crafting life at all. Everything has been fine. And if you are going to adhere, I usually use a double stick tape. You can either use the red line. I really like Trinity Stamps Rip and Stick because it's not as permanent right away. I mean, it has a nice hold. It won't shift on you later at all. But if you get it in just a little bit, you have a couple seconds where you can kind of lift and shift. Whereas the red line is pretty permanent as soon as you stick it down. And my Rip and Stick is all inside because I've been making cards in the den.
I'm the queen of misplacing and going crap and having to lift it up and move it around. So I like
Right.
the ability to have a little bit of wiggle room before it's set.
Yeah, definitely. So in this case, it's also easier for you guys to see on camera. I just put a little bit of double stick tape on here. I haven't pulled the release paper off yet because I'm not ready to place it down, but I just want you to know that that's there and that's what we're going to use to adhere it. Now for this card, because it is super quick, plain and easy, I need a pen here. And I'm going to just line this up. Like I said, I already cut the smallest raindrop here. And I'm just going to mark through that hole there so that it's on the yellow or the orange card base. And then I'm going to hover my pen over the word push. I will slide this out of the way and I can make a dot there. So now can you see I've got one dot for my light and one dot for where my button needs to go. And then what I'm going to do is take the adhesive or the liner off of the adhesive here. And then I will stick it in place. Now, if you don't have it perfectly spaced out, before I was on camera, I actually did. You can figure out how to line up your push stamp for this. If you place your light on top and then stick your little stamp over the word, or I'm sorry, over the button in your MISTI, then you can close the lid, pick up the stamp, move the light out of the way, and you'll be able to stamp it perfectly in the right spot. So I should have said I did that already. That's already done. So I know that.
How did you line those up perfectly on the paper? I know that you've made for a while, but yes, that is an important piece of information.
I should have said that. I apologize. So that has already been done. But now I can just basically line up the yellow dot. That's where the light is, and the gold button for the push button. If you have to decide which one is going to be exactly perfect and which one is going to be off a little bit, say your dot's off a little bit, get the light in the right place. As long as your button is in the neighborhood of where it says push, when you push down on that paper, it kind of pushes a whole area. So that button will still work for you. So make sure your light is where you really want it to be.
That and our fingers are not exactly like pinprick size. We've got bigger fingers than the button.
Absolutely. So there is our light. It's in place. And that is the hard part of making a light up card. Now we're just going to go back to decorating. So I do have this hole, and I have a little piece of vellum that it's a lot bigger than I need, but that's fine. And I'm just going to use adhesive here. And since I'm putting it around the edges, it doesn't matter what kind of adhesive because we'll never see it. This is the back.
So, do you have to use vellum?
Pardon?
Could you just leave a hole? Do you have to use vellum?
In this case, I do, because I am going to glue a little candle flame on top, and I need a base for it to sit onto, something to hold my drop. But you do not have to. You could leave that open. You could put acetate. You could use tissue paper, coffee filters, you know, anything that'll
kind of limit. I mean, be creative, right?
Yeah, or leave a window. A lot of times I'll leave it open. So that's there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take our double thick foam tape. We call it the world's best double thick foam tape because it is repositionable for 30 minutes. You get a big roll. It's like 41 feet. I've been hacking into this for a bit. So the thickness is already the same thickness as our lights, 3 millimeters. This is also great for shakers. And it's repositionable for 30 minutes. So if you stick it down like that, that's not where I want it. It's going to be in the place of my light. I can peel it up and I can move it. So you have a little bit of working time, which I think is nice. And then it will become permanent overnight. So what I'm doing here is I'm just kind of giving myself an eyeball guide. I, of course, know I don't want any foam tape here, but when you turn it over, sometimes you get disoriented of where the push is. The push is here. So I'm going to leave this area free of foam tape because you don't want the foam tape on top of the battery. It just gets too thick. I will go ahead and trim some of this down. Let's start with this piece. The other thing, because that light is so bright, if I get really close to the hole, I will create a box and a shadow, especially on white cardstock or lighter color cardstock. So what I'm going to do is just kind of cut it back a little bit. And then I won't give myself a box of light near it. It won't be nearly as noticeable. Let's hope.
So Lori's saying you make this look so easy because she feels intimidated by doing this.
Oh, well, it's just paper.
It really isn't. You just need to get in there and try it. Like with anything new, try it once, see what you think. But she really, like, Amanda's made this so user-friendly.
Yeah, truly. We try to make it, and I'm just testing to make sure that my foam tape isn't anywhere where it's not supposed to be.
Oh, there is a question. Is the foam tape in stock?
Yes, we got 1,000 rolls recently. So yes.
Ooh, she has tape. People go buy tape. Oh, and
Yeah.
speaking of which, if you do purchase anything, there is a coupon code. The link is down in the information section
Yeah.
to join that. It's also on the coupon page. And so therefore you can get a % off of your order. And it's only available for about a week after the retreat. So if you want to order any of the Pear Blossom Press products, what we're showing today, the tape, the lights, all the fun stuff that you're doing, and make sure you go down. The link is down below the video, but it's also on the coupon page on the retreat site. So you can check that out there.
Absolutely. Take advantage of that. And if you do want candle lights, I only have 2 packs left. And there are very few of them. So
Get them now. Get them now.
Yeah,
Who's
we
gonna get
are
'em
running
first?
low. Okay. So of course this doesn't really make sense yet, but I want to show you. We've got a couple other fun things which I really like. My friend Victor at HAI Supply, he made me these little yellow raindrops. I said, Victor, I need yellow raindrops. And he was like, is that like yellow snow? That's a weird thing. But they're perfect candle flames. And there are
That is an odd request until you
I
understand
know.
what they're for.
Right. And they're perfect. So there are 2 different sizes in the package. There's kind of like a large and a small, and they work great with the small. They line up perfect, and the medium is pretty close to that size too. So it works well. I cut the smaller one, so I am going to glue the smaller one on here. And because it's a plastic gem, I'm using my Barely Arts glue. Any strong adhesive is that you use normally for your oops, sorry, grabbing a pickup stick. Any normal adhesive that you use for your gems and sequins is obviously fine for this as well. And then I love these. Next, I asked him for candlesticks. And I said, they'll go perfect with my candle flames. So he made me packs of 50. This is 50 candles in there, even though it doesn't look like a lot, but that will make you a lot of cards. And I've already pulled
especially
out
if you're only putting like 1 or 2 candles on a card, which is kind of normally what to put 50 candles on 1 card, that's a lot of work. You
and
could.
if you did, that would be a very special card.
That would be a
But it
very,
still
very
wouldn't cost
special
that
card.
much. It's still cheaper than Hallmark, right?
It's true. Yes. Absolutely. And more, it's special because you handmade it. I think that's the part I loved about handmade, or what I love about handmade cards is that you've put the love and the energy and your passion into it and then gave it to somebody. And that means something more than I just went to the store and bought. Not that, I mean, anything you give to somebody is nice, but there's just that little extra something when it's made by hand. Definitely.
I agree. And also, why on earth would you go buy a card when you can make one for like $100? 12 hours of your
language.
So that's all I'm doing to finish up this card. But now you can see the candle flame glows when you push the button. It says make a wish.
Aww.
So I thought that was fun. That's just
so my birthday's coming up. Is this going to come in the mail? I'm just kidding.
Well, let me show you some other things you can do with these lights. So again, this one is a camera. And I did that earlier. I just cut out the window there and put some vellum on the back of it. And then we decorated it and stamped the word push. Same thing, off to the side. And that button, you can rotate this anywhere you want. So if you wanted the push up here or over there, just rotate it around, it's a fixed different distance for the one light, but that also helps keep it very simple. So this is another one light. I think I showed you Rudolph. He has one of those big red pearls on his nose, and the light just glows right through it. I did cut
like a regular, like flat back pearl, not a see-through gem, but an actual. Wow.
No, that's just in a shaker mix that had red pearls, and anything that doesn't have your silver. Sometimes the rhinestones, like these rhinestones, have silver,
or like a coating on the back of it.
Yeah, so the light will not shine through there very well at all. So, but any of your clear plastics, like these guys, these are pearls, the light will go right through those. We have some little rosebuds in our shop, 3D rosebuds. Actually, I think we're sold out. Never mind that part. But the light does go through those. But so
stop enticing us for things you don't carry.
No, I'm sorry. So that's a look at the one light. And like I said, it's probably the easiest one to use. I'll show you our easy light. This one was the original product that we came out with as far as flashlights go. It has 3 lights on wires. They're about 7 inches long. So I coiled up the extra, but you can spread those across a scrapbook page or wherever you want. I put them in box cards and stuff like that too. So because those wires are so thin, you can put them wherever you want. But it's basically the same idea. Instead of one little light bulb in your button, you've got 3 light bulbs on wires. And then your button down at the bottom, put your battery in, and you're off to the races. Same thing here with vellum behind the window, and then that double thick foam tape. This is a sample card that I take and show so people can see the inside. But it's very simple to make a light up card with more lights. And let's see. This one is one I made recently, which is really pretty. Has those 3 lights, and I'm not sure if you can see, but they're actually elevated. So they kind of pop off here, which is, it's all like a freestanding thing. Instead of putting the light behind the top layer, I just strung them up from the backside of this die cut, and that whole die cut is popped up. And the lights are on the back, and I just adhered the easy light to the back side of this, and then only popped up the cake. So you have that option. If you only wanted 2 of the 3 lights, you can cut one off. So don't be afraid to do that. Just cut.
So it doesn't mess up the mechanism if you have a 3 light and you cut
Right.
1 or 2 of them off. You can do that because maybe you want the length of the light, but you only want one of them. Got it. Okay, cool.
And I usually say if you want one bright light far away from your button far away, then I'll gather all 3 of these together and make one brighter light rather than cut them off. But for headlights and for candles like this, you can snip off the extra one. Incidentally, I teach this class occasionally, like at the Stampin' Scrapbook Expo, that kind of thing. And there will always be at least one person in my class who's like, nope, I'm not cutting it off. I'm going to light up a flower or something. Because
I refuse to deface the 3 lights.
Those are the same people that won't cut their stamps. I do stamp surgery all the time. I'm not afraid.
You know what? And to each their own. However you want to be creative, that is, go for it.
Absolutely. And it's totally fine. If you don't like to cut apart your stamps, you can move them around 100 times and mask things off. I just chop them apart.
Absolutely. Whatever works for you.
Yeah. Here's a box card where I added lights. Now this one I didn't come up the different layers, but you totally can. And I've got another one. I'll show you that with the twinkles. But it's just kind of in the back, and I hid the button down at the bottom. So it's kind of fun, and I enjoy that one. Our twinkle light is just like the easy light, except for the 3 lights flash. So instead of staying on when you turn them on, they flash. And this one, Marianne made this card, and she put it on an action wobble, and I can't really show you from this angle, but the lights just are up the back of the little critter.
I can kind of see a little hint of that.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought of doing the twinkle light on your 1 light? Like a disco flasher.
Yes. In fact, who was I just talking to about it? Somebody. We were just talking about a new product. That may happen.
I might have divulged something that.
Yes. Well, I'm sorry. If you see it in the near future, you'll say you kind of heard it here first.
Look at that, I forecasted.
I did want to show you in this card. There is the trap door that I was talking about in our die set. It cuts 3 sides and scores the other so that you can access your battery and change it out. So that is an option too.
How long do the batteries last on these? So if you mailed it to somebody and they wanted to, my mother keeps a basket of cards and she likes to pull them out and look all the handmade things I've given her. So what would the longevity be of one of these batteries?
We say 10 to 14 hours. Every battery has natural variation, and it'll depend on how many lights you're using. So our halo light has 5 LEDs that point in, and that is closer to the 10-hour mark, whereas the regular easy light with 2 LEDs or 3 LEDs, I mean, if you cut one off, you'd have 2, you'll get 14, 15 hours out of that easy. And that's continuous, but you never really hold it down for that long. You hold it for a couple seconds. So I have cards that are from 2019 that are still going. So,
wow.
And I take those to shows where people push them,
Right. They're getting some use. Yeah. And do you sell the replacement batteries as well?
Yes, we do. You do want to, cut some sort of a trapdoor or something to access Or sometimes, like for this particular card, you can sort of see the battery is there. It's right at the edge. I can use tweezers, pull that battery out and replace it. And I did the same thing. The button is it's dark in here, but there's a little push button there. And this one is twinkle lights. And instead of putting them just on the back, there's, on the back of this guy and this
you
guy.
kind of run them along the side and up the back side.
Yep. Let's see if that'll catch the light there. There's a wire here and a wire there. They just go right up the struts. And the way I do that is I tape the light to the piece first. So like the butterfly, I would tape that in place before and run it down the piece of acetate that it's sticking up from, so that I have 3 pieces of acetate, basically ready to go. And then I tuck them in and attach the battery at the end. I hope that makes sense. So that's
kind of.
Let's see.
Oh, there's a couple of questions real fast.
Right.
Do you sell the wobbles? Is
yes,
one of the questions.
We have awesome. The
and then
regular and the mini.
There's 2 sizes. Oh, even better.
Yes.
And then are the twinkle lights already available for sale?
Yes, they've been out. Everything I'm showing you is available. The candle lights are low, but I'll get to those in 1 second. I do want to show you the halo. And this one I made a shaker. The halo light is just a round, basically light, and all the lights point in toward each other. So if you're lighting up a sentiment, or in this case, if you wanted a shaker, it's easy to do. We designed this to fit on MFT's circle shaker pouches. So it's a 2-inch circle. Any 2-inch will work, but that makes it really easy to turn it into a shaker if you want. And then I'll show you the candle, because the candle it's new and it's one of my favorites.
Before you do that, we have one more question. I'm sorry to keep interrupting you. Somebody asked, what is the miscellaneous $19.99 in your shop? What is that product?
I think that is one that I set up for a wholesale customer and forgot to take down.
Don't click that.
I have no idea what you're going to get. It's going to be dealer's choice.
It's going to be a hodgepodge of products being put together.
I have no idea why that's available.
Mystery box.
But I did want to show you the candle. And if you can see, the light's already on. So this light is a little bit different. Instead of having to hold the button down, you press the button and it'll stay on for a minute and a half. It depends on your battery, how fresh it is. In fact, the fresher it is, the sooner it turns off, but you have always at least a minute. And then there is a little microphone inside. So did you see that? It blew out.
Okay, do that again, but let's switch your camera so you
got let's do that.
Yeah, let's do that one. There we go. Okay.
So I'm gonna press the button. Light is on, and then I blew it out. That's pretty cool, right?
I was playing with this when we were at Creativation back in, what was it, the end of March, right?
Right.
And I was just trying to put air, and she's like, no, it's the sound, because it's a microphone. So give your blow a sound, because I was just trying to go light and using pressure. Right. And she's like, it's not going to work that way. But I will have to also say I have a, it worked. But also, like, I think I had to be louder because we were in a room with a lot of sound, and it was having a hard time distinguishing between the ambient sound and my tiny little sound. It wasn't loud enough. But me actually blowing out the candle, that little snippet made it into my intro reel of all my YouTube videos. And it's like, who am I? Like, what is my channel about? And so you'll see Amanda in the background and me blowing out the candle. It made like a little 3-second blurb into my 20-second intro video. So you get a little claim to fame there. Yay. And then me laughing because it was just so much fun to like click it and go,
yeah,
it's addictive. It really is addictive.
Yeah. I do want to point out, let's see, and it's also fun for like shape cards, because the light itself, well, you can see the back of it here. This is
flip your camera around.
Yeah. All right. So this is the back side of it. The front side has the battery clip and the button and the LED, but it's basically like this long, skinny part that sticks up, and the LED is at the top and your button's down here. Right underneath it is the microphone. So that's where air has to get through. But because it's so skinny, you can make a shaped card. Like, isn't this cool? This is
That
a
is very cool.
stamp and die set from Trinity Stamps, which she designed specifically for the candle. When I told her we were making it, she's like, I've got an idea. So the sentiment says, blow out your candle. Yes, really. But, and
That is a calorie-free cupcake. I love it.
exactly, yeah. So lots of fun. But that is our newest light, and we are having a lot of fun with it. Like I said, that one is selling really quickly. We are down to, I'm afraid I won't have enough for all of my in-person shows. I still have 3 more in-person shows this year, and we've got a reorder going in, but I'm not sure we can get it in time.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have that they're selling and people are enjoying them and you have the product. It's a bad problem when like you have the demand for it and you don't have, supply and demand.
Yeah.
So if you want any of them, I will say, make sure
Yeah.
you grab them. There was a comment about, and I'm going to look about some of the products being sold out. Amanda's been doing some amazing events in the past little while, and she has been selling her products like hotcakes. So that's probably why you're seeing some of the products not available at this moment, because her store is going gangbusters right now. And a lot of wholesale companies have been putting in these massive orders. So she's trying to catch up. So it's one of those crazy things. You don't want to put an order too big in and then have it sit on your shelf, but you don't want to have too, like, it's that funny, you got to find that balance. And she's just in a little bit of a flux right now. So just be patient. It's small business. It's the real deal. Like you got to figure out your product lines and what's going to work. So a little bit of grace.
Yes, I do appreciate it. And if it goes on back order, that usually means I have more available or coming really soon. Otherwise, we'll make it switch it over to the notify me button so that you can't order it. Just because I know it'll be 6 weeks at least before I can restock it. So I do switch that over, and then you'd get an email if you decide to click the notify me button. But we package all of our lights here. We want to, test quality control and keep the ratios right, because when I get a big wholesale order, they'll order the 2 packs or 3 packs of items. Whereas when people come to our website, they'll order the 5 packs. So if I just package them, all when they come in, I'll get my ratios off. I'll have too many of this and not enough of those. So
makes sense. Makes sense. Totally get it. These are all things on the back end. Oh, somebody's placed an order. Yay. I feel like we should have some sort of like big prize or like bells and whistles going off. Yay, Rhonda. Now, Rhonda, what did you get? What's in your order? Do you want to divulge one of the items you popped into your order? I'd love to know. Love to know.
Wait, is this Rhonda who was at Creativation with you?
Yes, this is Rhonda that was at Creativation with me. Hey, Rhonda. She seems to stalk right. No, I love it. No, she's awesome. She's awesome. She even came to our in-person retreat, and she's fantastic. And she even brought her daughter to the in-person retreat as well. So I got to meet her, and I had my daughter with me at that. So it was kind of fun. We got to meet each other's daughters and be part of the family. So it was all good.
Very nice. Yep. Well,
do you have any, you were talking about how you've got some other events coming up. You've got 3. So can you give us an idea? So if you are living nearby, you can do a swing by potentially, depending on what the event is.
Yes.
So can you divulge any of what you're going to in the next little while?
Of course. Yeah. We are going to the Stamp and Scrapbook Expo in Mesa, Arizona. That is September. My husband's not super thrilled with me because our 10-year anniversary is September 13th, and we will be at the Scrapbook Expo.
Oh, well.
We will be working. He loves me. Lord, I have to make it up to him. So that's
to yourself too, because it's not just his anniversary, it's both of your anniversaries.
Right. Yes. And he, like I said, we work together. He designs a lot of the products themselves, and I get to do the fun part of playing with them. And then, so that's in September, Mesa, Arizona. If you're anywhere in the Phoenix area, come see us. And then in
That feels like it's a good time to go out on a nice fancy dinner one of the evenings of that event, right?
Yeah. He's already picking out reservation places.
Yes.
However, we're staying at an Airbnb with I think there's 5 couples that'll be there.
All right. I'm not gonna judge. I'm just kidding.
But there's a swimming pool, and it'll be fun. And
oh, nice. Yeah, and it's still warm, especially there, so you can go outside and enjoy. I mean, you live in California anyway, so I'm sure you got year-round swimming, but still, yeah. not
But
freezing cold.
yeah, it'll be fine. And then let's see, we'll be in Iowa. I'll be at Stamp Joy in Iowa. That is October 18, 19, 20, something like that, I think. I know I fly on the 17th and the 20th, so it's in between. And I believe that event is sold out, but that's a Tailored Expression, so I'm really excited to go there and join the crew there for a fun light up card class. And then the 25th, I think 24th, 25th, 26th, whatever that Friday and Saturday is of October, we will be here in Southern California at the Stamp and Scrapbook Expo, which is in Ontario, California, which is basically the Inland Empire if you're in Southern California.
Not to be confused with Ontario, Canada.
Canada. Yeah, and it's Ontario, CA, which could still be either
Which,
one.
yeah, that is really confusing.
Yeah.
Hang on.
So, yeah, it's the easy airport in Southern California. How's that?
There you go. There you go.
But,
Easy airport access. And those, the scrapbook expos are open to public. There's no like limit
yes,
on tickets. So
correct.
if you're in the area, you can definitely come in and, grab yourself a ticket. And you are one of just a few of the, like many of the vendors. There's lots of classes and vendors and all kinds of fun stuff, all related to stamp and scrapbooking. So
Yeah, it's
paper
like
crafts, all
a
of
shopping
scrapbooking.
mall of your favorite brands and lots
Yeah,
of make and
because you
takes
don't have a storefront that people can go shop. You have an online store. So this
right.
is a chance where people can like walk into a quote unquote store at
Mm-hmm.
this at the convention and see your products and get to play. And there's classes they can take with you, and they're fun. If you've never been to one of those, go find one. There's like there's Stamp and Scrapbook Expo. There's also like the CKC events. They're really fun too. So go check those out. They're really cool.
Yeah, they are. And you have great stuff. And a lot of times you'll see stuff you haven't seen before. And you can tell your local scrapbook stores, hey, I just saw so and so and I picked up this stuff and it was really cool. And you might want to carry them in your shop. So, and a lot of local scrapbook stores carry our products too, which is very nice. Yeah.
But if your store doesn't carry Pear Blossom Press, let them know. Say, hey, I want some lights.
Yeah, it's fun. So
awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today and showing us all of your amazing products. I love the teamwork between you and your husband. And I know your kids help you do the packaging. Like it's a whole family event. We were actually chit-chatting about this earlier about hiring our kids to help us. Like my son helped me kit a lot of the kits. My daughter was helping, and your kids helped too. And I have a big, whole, like it warms my heart to know that when you see a mom and pop shop, it really truly is a mom and a pop in the family. Like they're all involved into all of it. And I know how much hard work that takes to do all that because we do it on our end too. And so it's supporting small business, it's supporting families, it's supporting your business. And so if you want to go try something new, you definitely got to go check out Pear Blossom Press. And I know they've got some new fun stuff coming down the line. So pay attention. So if you haven't checked out their social media, go check out their social media because they got some fun stuff coming up.
Yes. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I hope you guys continue to have a wonderful retreat. I hope everybody is crafting along and making some good stuff. I need to pick up some leather. I've got my jewel loom. So
yeah, we're doing that video later today, so you can play around with that. And yeah, the leather is so awesome. There's so much fun stuff that we're doing at this event, and it's a little bit of everything. We're not just doing like a one-trick pony. It's a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this. And so I truly appreciate you coming in and bringing the technology side of it all over here, but the easy side of technology.
That's fun, right?
That's the best part. Yes. And it's cool. It's interactive. I love all that.
Yeah. They're actually really good for guy cards because I don't know if you're like me, sometimes you have a birthday coming up for, a family member and they need, you have butterflies and hearts and cute little critters and you think, oh, I wonder if my son will like any of this. No, but if I add a light.
Yeah, and as soon as you said that guy card and light, I'm thinking like a fishing lure with there's a light at the end of the fishing rod and there's a fish coming out, like trying to get to the light, the lightning bugs, the ones with the butts light up, those ones.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
That would be cool too, like a firefly sky, on your lights, and how the lights, especially with the twinkle lights, that would look cool.
Yeah,
fireflies.
They're really fun for stars. So
fun. Well, thank you again so much. And for those of you that are joining us for our next class, we are going to be talking all things about doodle journaling. So you do need to have a ticket to be able to enter into that class. And there is still time to join the retreat. So link is down below to get yourself a ticket to join the retreat. And we only have 2 kits left. So if you want to get a kit for all of the classes that we are doing in the retreat, then grab those before they are gone. So again, thank you so much, Amanda, for joining us. And I will see you again soon. I know we'll be bumping into each other at some point.
Yep.
Virtually or in person or both. Both.
All right. Thanks so much.
All right. Bye, everybody.